Hey guys, it's your boy Wolfie. Now, if you played Smite at any point in time in its lifespan, you would know that Smite has a healer problem. It always has. How Hell and Ra were literally like the first 10 characters in the game. And soon after, Guan Yu was released and Vamana was also an opening character. Yeah, healing has always been a big thing in Smite, and it's always been the big thing for the same reasons, which is why I play a lot of them. Some may say I have a few games on Hell, and some people consider it a problem, and they, whatever, don't judge me. I can quit playing her whenever I want. Screw y'all. But basically, having a lot of experience on these characters, I know what they like to deal with and what they don't like to deal with, what counters them, what stops them from being able to play the game, etc. Which is why I don't usually have a problem with them. But the general community seems to have an issue and doesn't know how to deal with them, seeing as they have such high win ratios across the board. Yeah. So, in this season, Hirez tried to fix it by adding a out of combat healing reduction by 30%, and their win ratios are still too high. They're still causing a problem. Yeah. So I'm going to propose an idea on how to fix these characters. And after I propose this idea, I'm going to tell you guys how to deal with them in the current game, or how we used to deal with them anyway. Right? So hear me out. The problem with healers is that the healing numbers are just as high or almost as high as the damage numbers. That's the problem. Normally healers, either the damage is way lower than the heal, or the heal is way lower than the damage. Unfortunately, that's not the concept in Smite. You might hit somebody for 900 with Hell, but you're also going to heal somebody for 750. That's too much. It has to be a give and take. Now, granted, healers usually give up an ability that other characters have, right? Like, they're either giving up the dash or the immunity or the CC immunity or the ultimate that someone else has. But that's kind of not enough. That doesn't kind of put them on an even playing field. And if you ever noticed, it's never a problem with healers that go tank, because they don't have enough healing to heal their entire team, or they don't have enough healing to deter you from re-engaging in a fight. Guan Yu has to throw like 20 heals up if he wants to heal a guardian and a warrior to full HP. It's you're gonna be sitting there for literally 60 minutes just heal. Meanwhile, Afro and Hal can throw like 2 or 3 heals out, and all of a sudden your guardian that has 4,000 HP is full HP. So that brings me to the conclusion that maybe an easy fix for this is to take the scaling of healing and put it on something else. Maybe tie healing to HP levels. That way, if it's a percentage HP level, you're going to heal guardians for a lot and tanks for a lot, but you're not going to heal those squishies for a lot. Healing a squishy for like 20% of their max HP is way smaller than healing a tank for 20% of its max HP. Maybe you can do that. That's not my favorite one. Maybe you can tie it to protections. Or maybe you could tie some of them to protections. This would help characters like Chalk. Chalk's biggest issue is that he has to build damage to be tanky, and he can't build tanky to be tanky. It's really weird. It's an awkward problem, but like that could help characters like that. Maybe you could tie some heals to that. But yeah, my favorite idea for this, right, isn't to tie it to HP or protections. That's kind of just my idea of making it more simple for Hirez, so they don't have to add anything. But I think the best possible answer for healing is to add another stat, or change the way you guys have a current stat. You guys already have an increased percentage on healing, right? Why don't you guys just add a healing stat? Why don't you guys just choose items that have a certain amount of magic power, and then you just put healing power on top of it? That way you can control how much they're scaling and how much healing they're doing with the items they're going. So you can finally make an item like Rod of Asclepius good for healers. Rod of Asclepius could have 60 magic power, but can have 120 healing power. Add another stat. I know that sounds harder than normal because that must be a programming nightmare, but I think we've already had other stats in the game, and I'm pretty sure it's not that hard to program into it. I'm pretty sure I'm talking out my butt right here. I'm not a programmer. Let me not start to pretend like I know this stuff. And I'm not gonna go like, well, you guys could just take the people off of making the skins. And no, I know that's not a thing. But I personally think that this is probably a good project that you guys can have, that you guys can put into the game and would solve a lot of your issues. You'd be able to control healing. You'd be able to have an idea of what you would want those characters to buy. And you can give them different builds, which allow people to have more fun. You guys could also experiment with the idea, since healing power being it, you'd be able to make healing supports, etc., that would actually be viable. So they don't have to be full mage glass cannons with like 1 or 2 defense items, and that's the only way they get sufficient healing out. Yeah, I think this is the best overall answer, not only for a gameplay perspective, but an easier way for you guys to balance it. That's probably my best idea for it. A new stat. Let me know how you guys feel about that in the comments. I personally think it's better because, like, at least you'd be able to, like, if you'd be able to choose what kind of hell you want to play. You're either trying to focus on doing damage or you're trying to focus on healing, right? You can't be both. You can't have 950 magic power and hit somebody for 1,050 and still heal your teammates for 900. You know, if you want to make high magic power items, put low healing power on them. I think this is the best compromise. Maybe for some of the tanks like Guan Yu, Tyr, and Chak who have self-healing, maybe you can tie it to their health, or maybe you can tie it to their plus health or their protections so they feel like they're rewarded for building that way. But I think taking healing off of like just regular damage power is the right way to control and balance healers in the future, and it should make your life as a dev way easier. I'm just putting this out there just as an idea. Hopefully so it catches on, enough people see it, enough people like it, and maybe someone at Hirez decides, hey, maybe this guy Wolfie's smarter than he looks. Nah, I just played way too much out. All right. Let me give y'all quick tips to deal with healers, all right? Before we go into the whole, before you guys think about those, we have to deal with healers in Season 8 right now, and I'm going to teach you guys how to deal with them in an easier way. Everyone seems to think that anti-healing is the way you deal with healers. That is wrong! Anti-healing is a nuisance, but you think of anti-healing like you would penetration. It allows you to kill the characters you want to kill, not the counter. Right? You can kill a tank, you're going to kill him faster with penetration, right? It doesn't stop him from being a tank, it just means you kill him faster. It's kind of the same thing with anti-heal. You want to know what stops healing entirely, engaging on healers and not letting them disengage. So the anti-heal is only as strong as how long you can keep a person in combat, because the moment they get out of combat, they can reset the fight, they can heal, and you have to back to base, and you will lose that fight 10 times out of 10 with your entire team being half HP and them being full HP. It is just how it is. And while you back, they're gonna take objectives, so they're gonna make you feel worse for not doing it. So what do you pick? You pick either characters that healers can't get to, you pick characters that have displacement that can separate the enemy team from their team, or someone that can pull the enemy team into your team so they can't actually get heals or assistance from their team. Those are your best bets. Everyone always asks me like, oh no, they went Hell or Chang'an middle or Ra middle. What are you gonna do? Zhong Kui. Why? Zhong Kui blinks in, ult, hits the entire team, everyone's taking damage, everyone's anti-healed, and they can't run away. So the healer doesn't get to heal, and they're getting their face bopped. Awesome, that's cool. But that's not the only thing that stops them. I can't tell you how many games that I've played as a healer or against a healer, And people on my team or the enemy team just refuse to buy Curse Donk. Curse Donk is literally the greatest counter to healers because it allows you guys to do what stops healers even better. Remember how we were talking about engaging and not letting them disengage? Remember how we were talking about punishing them for stuff? Well, Curse Donk not only allows you to anti-heal, but it increases the damage they take. Increasing damage taken is massive, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because the way that percent damage increase scales. So more times than not, you're going to have a red buff on a mage or a carry or whatever it may be that has red buff. Some characters also have percentage damage increases in their kit, like hell. What you don't know is percent damage increase has a very hard diminishing returns. This is why you don't see hell hit for 2,000, right? There's a heavy diminishing returns. But percent damage increase and percent damage decrease are two different status effects, and they stack. And they don't stack like normal. One of those 20% is going to be 20% of 120%. Yes, this is why items like Spear of the Magus are so much stronger than people think it is. But beyond that point, yeah. If you are against a healer and you're not picking up Curse Donk, you're kind of trolling. If you have 2 Curse Donks, you can literally eliminate a healer from the entire fight. That's like 20 seconds of not being able to heal anyone on the team without forcing them to take more damage. If you are not buying Curse Donk, you are trolling. You deserve to lose against a healer. Seriously, it's better than Brawlers, Divine Rune, everything else you can buy. It's literally ridiculously strong. Buy it if you're against a healer. Rush down those healers. A healer is only as strong as their front line. That's the truth. Granted, right now, healers still have a really high win ratio right now, and the reason I'm thinking they're having a high win ratio right now is they're very hard to kill on these aura metas. If you have someone like an Ares on your team, you can give someone like 150 double protections just by being next to them. It's kind of absurd how much protections you can get right now. Between Lotus Crown and all the other stuff going on, it's a little ridiculous. So I think that's what's causing them to have higher win ratios, and the only thing that makes you better than having double protection is also having healing on top of it. So like, that's my idea as to why the auras, like the out of combat aura didn't kill healing, is because of how strong protection auras are. That's just my idea. I don't know. That's what I think is happening. So yeah, just do that better than enemy team. Rush them down better than they can deal with. Now, the one healer that will always be exempt to this entire ruling or conversation is Afro. And the reason why Afro is out of this situation is because Afro's ult doesn't have a counter. We don't really have a way to take off Afro ult. We don't have a way to stop Afro ult from being casted. It can be casted during CC. Even knockups, it's kind of weird. And there's no way to turn it off. There's no purge, there's no dispel, there's none of it, right? Like Sunder takes away Nike shield, but it doesn't work on Afro shield. It's just, it's awkward. I don't like it. It's not fun to play against, and it creates an entirely anti-fun mechanic like stealth. I don't know. I feel like we should just have counters for these kind of things. And she'll always be a problematic character as long as that's part of the game. Yeah. So if you're against an amazing Afro, you're just kind of out of luck. This is why I didn't let my dude play Afro at all the entirety of the SPL. It was Dardes, the Afro god. There's not much you can do to deal with it, bro. It is what it is. Another character that's very good without it is kind of Chang'e. You're not really picking Chang'e for the healing. The healing is kind of just a bonus, and normally when you're healing, you're in combat anyway, so she's kind of unaffected by the whole change. In fact, she got buffed because the anti-healing got nerfed. So, like, there's that. Kind of the same thing with Guan Yu. But, yeah. That's all. Yeah. Sorry, Hirez. your solution wasn't really much of a solution for some characters. But yes, just pick characters with anti-heal on them. Cullen, Sobek, Chang'e, whatever they may be. Use those characters. They're very good and they're better than the anti-heal items themselves. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button, and please hit the notification bell to know when we are dropping more videos. Also, leave a comment, my guy. If you like my idea, hate my idea, disagree with how I deal with healers, or like want to tell me what you do to deal with them, regardless of what it may be, feel free to let me know. Drop in the comments. I'll respond. If you want a more live response, feel free to come by my stream and tell me live. I'll respond live. Even if I'm playing another game, it's cool. Or you can add me on Twitter. That works too. I respond all the time. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Deuces, my friends. I'll see you next time.